100 ISIS and Taliban targets in 5 separate countries, and was recently awarded both the Linebacker and LeMay trophies, an amazing achievement and a very unusual one to get both. Thank you very much. From the United States Coast Guard, who have done such an incredible job in Texas and Florida and Puerto Rico. They've had plenty of work right here. We want to welcome Captain Matthew Wadley and Port Security Unit 309 stationed down in Guantanamo Bay. This unit does outstanding work in providing expeditionary anti-terrorism and force protection around the globe. In fact, we saw your tireless efforts in action at the 200, as you know, at our great Republic National Convention. And many Republicans are very happy, but I have to tell you, the people of Florida, Texas, Puerto Rico, and lots of other states are even more happy. What a job you've done. The Coast Guard saved thousands and thousands of lives. Almost, it's unbelievable when I looked at the charts that I saw the number of lives you've saved. So I want to congratulate the Coast Guard for having done an incredible job. As we celebrate this most precious holiday, we're grateful for each of you who spend this Christmas away from your families and defend all of our families, our freedoms, and our flag. Every American heart is thankful to you, and we're asking God to watch over you and to watch over your families. As we open up the discussion, I know that some of the men and women under your command are able to join us and perhaps ask some of the questions. So we're going to be speaking with these wonderful people of the media and asking them to leave. Enjoy yourselves, huh? We appreciate it. Have a great Christmas. And we're going to do some very personal questions between these great people and myself. And we want to thank you very much for being here. And I don't see you during the day. Have a great holiday and a great Christmas. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that was just moments ago, President Trump at Mar-a-Lago at West Palm Beach, Florida. Speaking to members of the military, we heard a couple of locations, including Guantanamo Bay. He said, we're grateful for each of you. We remember you in our prayers. He talked about freedom and family and flag. And it really does warm my heart, having been deployed multiple times during Christmas and the holiday season. You just want to know your commander-in-chief and the folks back home remember you and are invested in what you're doing because you are there to defend the freedom that we get to enjoy.
And he was really listing off their accomplishments, a lot of praise, thanking them for what they've done, what they've accomplished, wherever they are. He mentioned Guantanamo Bay, one of the locations. So he got a lot of flack after Thanksgiving for doing something very, very similar. So here he is thanking them and heaping praise as well.
And he even turned to the media and said, Merry Christmas to them,
Well, what's funny about this, we were talking yesterday about reporters complaining about access to the president. I covered a lot of presidents, both parties, and this is a tradition. This is not something Donald Trump started, about calling each branch of the military and thanking them. But usually we would get like a printed readout an hour or so later saying the president called these troops, right? In this case, this president is letting the press come in to listen to him, the president, talk directly to the troops. Now, they couldn't stay for the Q&A portion, but you have that access. We're getting that live picture at Mar-a-Lago. So you want to talk about access to the president. There he is right there, and we saw it play out on Fox. We've also seen the president using social media this morning, talking about the FBI. He's not happy. Here's a tweet that's actually from yesterday. He had more this morning. How can the FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, the man in charge, along with leaking James Comey of the phony Hillary Clinton investigation, including her 33,000 illegally deleted emails, be given $700,000 for wife's campaign by Clinton puppets during the investigation. He also went on to talk about how McCabe is now racing the clock to retire with full benefits because of that Washington Post story.
Right, 90 days to go. Potentially, he could be retired as soon as March. That's when the benefits would kick in, if that is his ultimate choice.
This after he's, sorry to cut you off.
No.
This after he spent 7.5 hours in front of 2 committees on Capitol Hill answering questions about, the text message referring to an insurance policy. What did he do when he was overseeing the Clinton investigation? A lot of smoke. And I think both Republicans and hopefully some Democrats want to get to the bottom of, was there political influence inside the top layers of the FBI?
And someone who knows more about this, perhaps than anyone, is a brand new, we're unveiling it right now, Fox News contributor and investigative reporter Sarah Carter. First of all, what a wonderful Christmas present for us to have you now in the Fox family. So welcome.
And congratulations. Yeah.
Oh, it's a wonderful Christmas present for me as well. Merry Christmas Eve to all of you. I'm very excited about
so
this.
Very quickly, we ran out of little time because we went to the President Live. We want to get to the breaking news. But we also want to hear from you because you've been on this program predicting there was going to be a shakeup at the FBI. You have Democrats now saying this is about the president putting political pressure on career people. You've been suggesting in your reporting, not commentary, but actual reporting, that there's a lot more going on. Break it down for our viewers so they understand why this is so important.
And any surprise that McCabe may be leaving?
Oh, I don't think it was a surprise to me at all. I mean, we have been looking at these stories from early on this year. I mean, all the way back into March, when stories broke that McCabe was under investigation for the Hatch Act. There were questions about him filing his expenses and the fact that he had possibly left out. Senator Grassley asked for this from the Justice Department, nearly $700,000 that was donated to his wife through PAC committees when she unsuccessfully ran for state Senate in Virginia. So there were a lot of issues McCabe was dealing with. And then to top it off, we find out that he didn't recuse himself from the server case, as was suggested. He recused himself just a week before the presidential elections. So he was highly involved in the Clinton server investigation. And then later, we find out Peter Strzok was texting to Lisa Page about McCabe himself, saying, look, you know, we have an insurance policy. I wonder if Andy's insurance policy is going to work here. So there's a lot of questions of how far, how deep Andrew McCabe, as deputy director, was involved in these investigations and whether there was any obstruction at all. And believe me, they're still investigating this. And I think that's why we're seeing this rollout at Christmas that McCabe is moving towards retirement. And I think that's why we see President Trump tweeting out, 90 days left. But remember, there's still an ongoing investigation in the Justice Department, and they're looking very closely at this. The Inspector General is going to be looking at McCabe. He's going to be looking at James Baker, who's left it from his position as general counsel of the FBI. And there are many others like Peter Strzok, Bruce Orr at the Justice Department and his involvement, and Lisa Page. So there's a lot of questions here that still need to be answered.
The Democrats, as Ed has been saying, have suggested that he may be pressured out of the FBI because he's been involved in these Russia probes. Or is he feeling the heat, as you mentioned, that there may have been some wrongdoing, it's time to get out?
I certainly think Pete, he's feeling the heat. I mean, he's feeling a lot of heat. The heat's not just coming from the Inspector General. It's coming from ongoing investigations within the Justice Department, from within his own FBI. Remember, the FBI, and I've been saying this for months now, they were polygraphing a lot of people within the FBI out of concerns for leaks, not just within the FBI, but within the Justice Department. And I was told that right after he testified before Congress just recently, he didn't show up to work the next day.
How are things inside the FBI as the shakeup continues and these major individuals like the general counsel being reassigned as this all unfolds?
Well, Molly, I think that what we're seeing right now within the FBI, there's a lot of concern. I think that there's a lot of hope within FBI agents. I've been talking to them, both retired and current FBI, who are hoping that this shakeup will clean up the 7th floor of the FBI, and that's those high-level officials. We know that the field agents are doing everything they can to continue their work, and they're doing it with pride, and they're very proud of their agency, and they're very proud of the Bureau. But there was a lot of concern that over the past 8 years, there was a lot of politicization of the FBI. There was a lot of politics happening on that 7th floor that they were not proud of. And actually, they felt inhibited from speaking about.
Sarah, I want to drill down on something you said a moment ago about Andrew McCabe not showing up for work, I believe, after he had done all this testimony. Maybe he just took the day off. Maybe he wasn't feeling well. Maybe he was feeling the heat. But there was a report, I think, by CNN on Friday suggesting, and I underline the word could, that in his testimony in private, McCabe suggested that he could back up James Comey's account that the president wanted a loyalty oath. We've seen other reports suggesting, wait a second, McCabe couldn't remember when he learned about the dossier, all kinds of things he couldn't recall that seemed highly suspicious. What do you know about all that? And is there something to him not showing up for work? Is there something more going on here?
Well, I think there's something more going on here. Remember when he testified, the only thing that we saw that came out that he was actually able to prove within that dossier was that Carter Page had gone to Moscow. That was it. He wasn't even able to say what he was doing in Moscow in those meetings. So the dossier itself, the only thing we know for certain was that Carter Page went to Moscow. And that's a huge issue, especially for members of Congress. They're saying, did you use the dossier to get these FISAs? What's going going on here. Now, as far as backing Comey, he wasn't in that meeting with the president, as far as we know. So it wouldn't be firsthand knowledge. It would be very interesting if he had something. If he does, I mean, let everybody know about it. Apparently, I personally, talking to the sources I've spoken with, haven't seen anything to back that. That doesn't mean there isn't anything there.
Right.
But it just means that there isn't anything public yet to back what he's claiming or what CNN is claiming.
Well, Sarah, briefly, we only have about 10 seconds left here. You predicted a lot of things correctly. What could be coming next?
I think we need to really watch closely the Inspector General's investigation. I think the Inspector General is going to reveal with the Justice Department quite a bit, not just including McCabe, but I think others within the FBI and within the Justice Department. I think it's going to be surprising even to me. I think it goes much deeper than what we've seen.
Well, so you're a little look in your crystal ball, but we're going to keep you around because we want to talk a little bit about Uranium One. So please stick with us.
Yeah. And viewers, stick with us. More Fox and Friends with Sarah Carter on the other side.
Wow. What a Christmas present for us. As we mentioned, Sarah Carter is now a Fox News contributor. She's been all over this FBI story.
That's right. First day on the job, so we're going to make you work overtime.
Yeah.
All right?
Stay longer.
Second segment with us. Sarah Carter, thank you for being here. It's fantastic. We just got more reports that the Attorney General Sessions and the DOJ will be directing prosecutors to ask FBI agents for more information and investigation on the dormant look into the Uranium One deal. So we're going to take a harder look at this. What does it mean?
Oh, this is incredible. I remember Attorney General Jeff Sessions said that they would look into this. We saw the deputy director also said that they would be looking into this. Now, this is what's very important here, is that they're going to be asking the FBI agents who were involved in the Uranium One case way back when. They're going to be asking them questions about the informant, about what was going on at the time, about the reasons why they chose to prosecute something one way and not the other. They're going to be looking at Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein's involvement in the case. I think this is going to be very important. They're also going to be asking the informant questions, I believe. So this is going to expand way into the new year. Now, remember, the informant is preparing to testify before Congress, and he's actually really ill. I wish him a very Merry Christmas Eve. He has leukemia. He's been undergoing chemotherapy. So it's very, very important that he speak, that he be able to speak to Congress and share his story. And they're going to be looking at corruption. Now, what we know is that in 2010, when they approved the Uranium One deal, when they approved it, they had already known for months beforehand that there was extensive corruption within Rosatom, which is the Russian nuclear arm. They already knew that there was extensive corruption within its subsidiaries, Tenex and Tenem. So what they're going to want to know is, how did this get passed? How did the Uranium One deal get passed if there was all of this corruption that was forthcoming, and a lot of that coming from the informant who had spent nearly 6 years working with the FBI. So this is going to be, these are going to be very important questions.
Where is this in a timeline of effort as far as the Attorney General's office is concerned, as they're reaching out to the FBI agents? Is this just beginning? Is this something that's really just kicking off and we'll see a lot more of this in 2018?
Yeah, Molly, I think what they're going to do is, I think this has been ongoing since the stories broke. I know it's been moving forward slowly, it seems like, to the public. But behind the scenes, people have been talking to Congress, to all the committees that have been involved. You know, the House Intelligence Committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, the House Judiciary Committee. So people have been talking to these different committee members. They've also been discussing these same issues with the FBI and the Justice Department. Now, publicly, I think it's going to move a lot quicker in the coming year. We're going to hear from the informant at some point in time. They're going to be talking to the FBI agents that were involved. The prosecutors are probably going to start building a dossier of evidence, trying to look and see what was happening then and why did the Uranium One deal get passed. So I think a lot more answers will be forthcoming, particularly January and February.
All right, a lot, big stuff coming in 2018. Right. We know you'll be all over it. Sarah Carter, I'm going to make you a deal for Christmas. We're going to give you tomorrow off, but then we're going to be calling on you a lot right after Christmas.
Okay, it's
Welcome
a deal.
Aboard. All right, coming up.
Thank you.
We got a lot more coming.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, Merry Christmas movies are coming up. The reviews are in for the Christmas week box office. Kevin McCarthy will tell us just which ones deserve the tinsel or the coal.
And we showed you Pete's picture of him serving overseas during Christmas. Coming up, your photos and a special tribute we want to send to our brave men and women in uniform.
Some quick headlines. The Department of Homeland Security is now calling a shooting spree against Pennsylvania officers a terror attack. This as they confirm chain migration let the suspect into the country. Egyptian national Ahmed Amin Al-Mafti, who arrived here on a family visa, was shot dead by police after injuring a state trooper in a gunfight Friday. His family telling ABC News that he was, quote, a chicken, but not a terrorist.
What?
And a federal judge partially lifting President Trump's refugee ban, the decision opening the door for spouses and children of immigrants already in the country. The judge says it restores the refugee program to where it was before the president's new directive in October, requiring extreme vetting of refugees from 11 predominantly Muslim countries. And Ryan Reynolds might want to stick to making movies. His wife, actress Blake Lively, posting this picture of the actor's Christmas cookie skills on Instagram. Well, Lively writing, Ryan Reynolds made some Christmas cookies. He is very handsome, though. There is that. We will give her that. Yes, that's true. All right, the Deadpool star commented on Lively's picture saying, quote, I wanted to be the first person to bake Christmas cookies using only a hammer.
Yeah, it looks like he smashed it out.
He may be the first, yeah.
By the way, you weren't here yesterday, Molly, but Pete wore the same exact socks yesterday. He had a red one and a green one.
But
so
he probably switched
he's
them.
Recycling them.
Right?
I switched them out.
He switched
Exactly.
feet, same
he had
socks.
the other red one, the other green one.
The other people do fashion forward. I do fashion backward.
All right. Talking about fashion forward, we got the man for you. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, has been a Christmas classic for 25 years.
And now for the anniversary, the Plaza Hotel offers the Kevin McAllister experience for $895 and up.
We sent our very own Kevin McCarthy to see what it's all about. Kevin, Merry Christmas. Good morning.
Merry Christmas to you, and this was an absolute honor, and I was so happy to do this. I went to the Plaza Hotel where Home Alone 2, Lost in New York was actually filmed. And you have to understand, growing up as a kid, these films meant so much to me. So to be able to recreate some of these scenes, it was an absolute amazing experience. Check out the video to prove it. Watch this. Mom, it's okay, it's okay. I'm here at the Plaza Hotel. I'm not Kevin McAllister, but I am Kevin McCarthy, close enough, and we're going to give you an amazing tour of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. It was filmed right here at the Plaza Hotel. I'm wearing a ridiculous suit. People in here are staring at me, so I'm going to get out of here.
Help you?
Yes, a reservation for McCarthy.
We don't have a McCarthy. Do you have a McAllister?
That works as well. I'll take that.
Welcome to the Plaza.
Thanks for having me. This is insane. This is a $40,000 a night suite at the Plaza Hotel. This is where they actually filmed Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Now here's the cool thing. They're offering a Home Alone 2 Lost in New York experience for $895 a night and up. And here's some of the cool things you get with this. You get this backpack with all the drawings on it. You get the paint can. You get the DVD for Home Alone 2, a map of what Kevin did throughout his adventures in Home Alone 2, and also a newspaper here. But listen, I'm kind of wondering where my ice cream is at.
2 scoops, sir?
2.
Make it 3. I'm not driving. This is a vacation.
Mr. McAllister? Mr. McCarthy, your very own cheese pizza.
All right, this is amazing. I'm in the limo now. This is the limo that comes with the package here at the Plaza. It essentially takes you around to a lot of the locations where Home Alone 2, Lost in New York takes place. Excuse me, I was looking for somebody I saw here 25 years ago. Last name is Trump.
He hasn't been around here in a very long time, sir.
Oh, well, can you let him know Kevin's looking for him? I cannot believe it's been 25 years since the release of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. They have a huge experience down here at the basement at the Plaza Hotel. You can actually go over here into the photo booth and recreate some of the famous scenes from the film. I think all I have left to say now is...
Well done, sir. Well done.
You can get
you very
Kevin
much.
McAllister.
You definitely had a good time, yeah.
Yeah, you can get that experience.
I
that as
loved
well.
Star Wars. It
I
was
didn't-
epic, always epic. Loved
Really?
it.
Well,
Loved it.
Molly,
Loved
you
it.
and I
Actually,
need to
it's
talk.
the first movie I think I've been to see since the baby was born, so maybe that's part of it. I was like out of the house. I was
Or to
sitting in
get
the movie
out.
theater. It was so great.
I love The
Probably.
Force Awakens. As you can tell, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I like the new one. I just didn't love it. But I think my reasons are I'm interested in what people think if you read the review.
You blasted through those movies, Kevin. Thank you so
Kevin,
much.
well
Merry
done.
Christmas to
Merry
you.
Christmas. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love it.
Coming up, an incredible story just in time for Christmas. A 911 hero donating the gift of life to a stranger 3,000 miles away.
Wow. And 6% of Americans are still shopping on this Christmas Eve. I think the number's bigger here in New York. They're flooding the streets. We're going to help you get a gift with seconds to spare with a lovely expert.
Please Come Home for Christmas by Bon Jovi, of course. A request from John from Nevada.
Thanks, John. Love
We've
it.
also been asking for deployment photos of brave men and women who are overseas. This is from Kristen. Her husband Cody is deployed for Christmas this year, but they still found a way to make their Christmas picture happen with a little bit of a split screen magic, I guess.
Very cool.
Perfect. And this one from Bill, pictured with his comrades in arms in Christmas 2009 while deployed in Iraq. That's a big group shot.
You find a way to get a Christmas tree usually
and
wherever
they've
you go
squeezed
somehow.
some presents under there,
Little
too.
bitty presents, yeah. And then I've been gratuitously and selfishly sharing photos of my own. This one was our first sergeant in Iraq, Eric Garrisey. He's a total animal, a great American hero, frankly.
You say animal in the best sense.
In every best sense.
And is he the Santa in that one?
He's
Oh,
playing
wait.
grumpy Santa in his bunk. He came and showed up with presents for
we
the
have that
whole
picture of
company.
before?
And we don't have to show that one again.
We do?
But Eric Garrisey
It was a gun show.
yeah, that's right. He motivated everybody by showing up with presents, and he even went out on patrol in his Santa uniform.
That's awesome.
A true American.
Rick also has some
Merry
really splendid photos, and we've been wanting to share that. Oh, there's Rick's family. Merry Christmas, and Rick's outside. By the way, Rick, I got a peek during the break. There's a lot of people out there
You
with
are
you.
surrounded.
Look at that guy. Look at my dad.
Looking fella.
My dad turned 80 this year, and that was at his 80th birthday party.
Oh, happy birthday, Dad.
Good looking guy.
You got good genes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, happy birthday back in March.
Oh, March.
But thank you. He appreciates it.
Thank you.
You guys been waiting out here for a while.
We have, yes.
Yeah? Are you having fun?
Yeah, we're having a blast.
You know it's Christmas Eve. Aren't you supposed to be at home somewhere?
We will be soon. Yep. Yep.
Just checking. So New York for Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Okay,
And
perfect.
Christmas Day.
And Christmas Day. I think it's good. There, you can go to a David Burke restaurant to eat. Take a look at your weather maps. Show you what's going on. I tell you, it's a lot nicer out here than it is across the northern plains and the Rockies right now. It is -3 actual air temperature in Denver. Feels like -22 when you put a little bit of the wind in there. And that cold air is going to be here for the next number of days. Get ready, including across parts of the Northeast. A storm moves in tonight. It is going to bring rain along the coast, snow across interior sections, and some of that snow will pile up maybe about over 6 inches or so. That's the storm right now. It's across parts of the Central Plains, bringing snow to the Chicago area. Merry Christmas there to you in Chicago. All right, Pete, send it to you inside.
Yeah, Rick, you said upwards of -90 at the North Pole for Santa Claus. So
Exactly.
Wow.
That is chilly.
it is Christmas. Rick, thanks a lot. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. You might have to come out and say hello for sure. Well, turning now to your Christmas headlines. Miss America's CEO and 2 top executives calling it quits. This after sexist and degrading emails about former contestants were made public. A majority of those emails written by CEO Sam Haskell. The 2013 winner, Mallory Hagan, was among those who were criticized. She joined dozens of former Miss Americas in signing a petition asking the leadership to step down. And another story, a firefighter who had to be pulled from the rubble of 9/11 on the brink of death, now giving the gift of life to a total stranger 3,000 miles away, just in time for Christmas. Retired hero Kevin Shea donating his kidney to Lois Knudsen, a California schoolteacher with a fatal disease. His own life hung by a thread during the 2001 terror attack, suffering a broken neck. He was the only survivor from his crew. The pair connected after the surgery, finding out they were both native New Yorkers. What a hero then and now. And that is doing well. Christmas can't come soon enough for these decked out dogs. People all across the nation sharing pictures of their pets on Instagram. And now you guys have been sending in pictures to us. Of course, these 2 buddies bundled up with their scarf and sweater. Well done, right next to the tree. This pair posed with some Christmas bows in warmer conditions, it appears. And these 2 decided to get a little fancy with some Christmas collars